October 2022. Price, Utah. A mother sits alone, watching footage from a camera she had installed inside her disabled daughter's bedroom. It was supposed to help doctors understand why the seizures were getting worse. It was supposed to bring answers. But at 2:47 a.m., the screen showed something no mother should ever have to see. In the next few minutes, Paula Vigil's world broke open. The room she believed was safe was not safe. The home she had protected for decades had been breached, and the person behind it was not a stranger hiding in the dark. It was someone already inside the house. Now rewind to 2014. A man entered their lives looking like help. He seemed kind. He seemed patient. He seemed to understand what it meant to live inside a home built around medical care, appointments, seizures, fear, and exhaustion. For a mother who had spent most of her life fighting for her daughter, that kind of support looked like a blessing. But over the years, small things began to change. Ashley's seizures became worse. Her weight dropped. Her fear at night became harder to ignore. The signs were there, but they looked like medical problems. They looked like the natural decline of a fragile body. No one knew what was happening behind closed doors. No one knew that Ashley, a young woman trapped inside her own body, unable to speak, unable to move freely, unable to call for help, was living beside the person who would destroy the safety her mother had spent decades building. And when investigators started digging, the case became bigger than one bedroom, bigger than one home, bigger than one family. They uncovered a trail stretching across 3 states. Other victims, other warnings, other reports. Other moments where someone could have stepped in, but did not. One nanny. Cam did what years of warnings failed to do. It exposed the truth. This is the Ashley Vigil case. A case about trust, betrayal, silence, and a system that failed the people who needed protection the most. Before we go deeper, this story involves crimes against a disabled adult. Some details may be disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised. Welcome to ABC Crime Room. If you care about true crime stories that expose the truth and force hard questions, subscribe now, hit the like button, and tell us where you are watching from. Your support helps ABC Crime Room keep bringing these stories to light. Price, Utah is the kind of small town where people know faces, families, and histories. A mining town with fewer than 9,000 people. A quiet place where neighbors still show up when something goes wrong. A place where danger feels like something that happens somewhere else. Inside one modest home, Paula Vigil had built a life around one purpose: protecting Ashley. Every room in that house had meaning. Every piece of medical equipment had a place. Every routine existed because Ashley needed it. Ashley could not live like other adults. She could not get up and walk away. She could not speak up if something hurt. She could not defend herself if someone crossed a line. For 31 years, Paula became her daughter's voice, shield, nurse, advocate, and protector. Doctors once told Paula that Ashley would not live past 11, but Paula refused to let that prediction define her daughter's life. She learned every sign, every movement, every shift in Ashley's expression. She knew when Ashley was uncomfortable. She knew when something was wrong. She knew the tiny signals most people would never notice. Ashley had Rett syndrome, a rare genetic disorder that slowly takes away movement, speech, and control of the body. But Paula always saw more than the diagnosis. She saw her daughter. She saw a spirit still present inside a body that would not obey. Ashley loved being read to. She loved familiar voices. She loved comfort, routine, and the people who understood her without needing words. Though she weighed only 48 pounds as an adult, her presence filled the home. Paula called it Ashley's safe bubble. That bubble was everything. It was where Ashley was supposed to be protected from the world. It was where no one could hurt her. It was where love, care, and watchfulness had replaced the independence Ashley would never have. But in 2014, Brian Kenneth Urban entered that bubble. Urban was 52 years old. He worked as a medical equipment supplier. To Paula, he seemed like someone who understood a difficult life. She had spent years managing doctors, therapies, seizures, emergencies, and sleepless nights. She did not have an ordinary home. she did not have an ordinary schedule. She later said she told him her life was doctor's appointments and surgeries. That statement was more than conversation. It was a warning. It was Paula saying, "This is my life. This is what you are walking into." Urban did not walk away. He stayed. He appeared helpful. He appeared patient. He appeared willing to accept the demands of caring for Ashley, and that made him trusted. But trust is dangerous when the wrong person receives it. Over time, Ashley's condition began to change. Her seizures grew more frequent. Her weight began to fall. Her distress at night became harder to explain. Paula noticed, but she did what any mother in her position might do. She looked for medical reasons. Ashley had always been medically fragile. A decline did not seem impossible. It seemed frightening, but it made sense. That is what made the truth so cruel. The danger was not outside the house. It was not hidden in an alley or behind a stranger's face. It was moving through the same rooms Paula had designed for safety. By late 2022, Ashley's health had become alarming. The seizures were worse. Her body was weaker. At 48 pounds, every change mattered. Doctors needed answers, and Paula needed a way to understand what was happening overnight. So, she installed a nanny cam in Ashley's bedroom. The purpose was simple: record the seizures, track the timing, help the doctors adjust treatment, protect Ashley better. But that camera caught something else. On that October night, Paula watched the footage and saw the truth. The man she had trusted inside her daughter's life was the source of the nightmare. The camera showed him entering Ashley's room and violating the safety of a woman who had no way to stop him or cry out. Paula did not freeze forever. Her shock turned into action. She called law enforcement. Imagine that moment. A mother holding the proof of something unthinkable. A mother realizing that the room she had trusted had become the scene of betrayal. A mother understanding that the signs she had blamed on illness may have been something darker all along. The Price Police Department moved quickly. Urban was arrested in October 2022. Body camera footage later showed the moment officers took him into custody. But his arrest was not the end of the story. It was the door opening. Once investigators had the footage, they began looking at Urban's past. What they found raised a terrifying question. How many chances had the system already had to stop him? Urban later tried to explain his actions. He blamed elevated testosterone and medication. He claimed he was in a dreamlike state. But the court would hear a different story, one built around repeated conduct, vulnerability, and control. To Paula, no excuse could erase what happened. She had spent her life keeping Ashley alive against every medical prediction. She had given everything to protect that little safe bubble. And now the worst damage had come from someone she allowed inside it. This is the part of the case where many people watching ABC Crime Room need to pause and ask a hard question. When someone vulnerable cannot speak for themselves, how much responsibility does the rest of society carry? Drop your answer in the comments, because this case is not just about one man. It is about every warning sign that went unheard. As prosecutors prepared the case, the charges became serious. Urban faced 5 felony counts, including rape and forcible sexual abuse. The evidence painted a picture of a vulnerable adult being targeted inside her own home. Then the investigation widened. Detectives learned that another family in another state had already carried fear connected to Urban. In Montana, Paula S., who had married Urban in 1996, came forward. Her daughters Kirsten and Elisa had their own painful history with him. Their accounts suggested that Ashley was not the first person to suffer around him. They described fear, manipulation, and silence. Kirsten later said he played them against each other. She described the kind of twisted emotional control that makes victims feel trapped. If something was happening to one person, she felt it might be sparing someone else. Threats kept the silence strong. That detail matters, because silence is often not consent. Silence is often fear. Silence is often survival. Records from Wyoming added another layer. Urban had once been arrested for strangulation. He received 3 years of probation. Kirsten and Elisa had also reported abuse to police in Rock Springs. One report in 2014 and another in 2017. The cases were investigated and sent forward, but prosecutors declined to pursue charges. Now look at the timing. In early 2014, Urban left Paula S. and her family. That same year, he met Paula Vigil and Ashley in Utah. To Paula Vigil, he looked like a man willing to help with a medically fragile daughter. But with hindsight, the picture looked far more disturbing. He had moved from one family into the life of another vulnerable person, and Ashley may have been the most defenseless of all. The legal system then exposed another painful problem. Ashley was severely disabled, but legally she was an adult. That meant the sentencing guidelines did not treat her the same way the law would treat a child. Even though Ashley could not protect herself, speak for herself, or understand danger in the way most adults do, the law still viewed her through the category of adult. That gap outraged Paula, advocates, and attorneys. Attorney Nathaniel Woodward explained the issue clearly. When a victim is a child, the law recognizes a different level of vulnerability. But when the victim is an adult with serious disabilities, the law does not always weigh mental or physical capacity in the same way. That was the cruel problem at the center of Ashley's case. Her age said adult. Her condition said vulnerable. The law did not fully meet her where she was. For the families who had spoken out before, this failure cut deep. Kirsten later said that if things had been handled properly, Ashley and her family would not have suffered like this. That sentence carries the weight of every missed chance. Because this case was not only about what happened in one Utah bedroom, it was about every earlier report, every earlier warning, and every moment where the system had the opportunity to take a closer look. While the courts moved forward, Ashley's body continued to weaken. The trauma and the stress took a heavy toll on someone already fragile. Her seizures became more frequent. Her health declined. The daughter Paula had fought for since birth was slipping away. On March 16, 2024, Ashley Vigil died in her grandmother's arms while being read to. That detail breaks people, because reading had always brought Ashley comfort. It was one of the quiet joys in a life filled with medical battles. And in the end, she passed while hearing a familiar voice, held by someone who loved her. She was 31 years old. For Paula, grief turned into a new kind of fight. She had already fought doctors' predictions. She had fought seizures. She had fought exhaustion. Now she would fight to make sure Ashley's name did not disappear into another court file. When sentencing day arrived, people gathered outside the West Jordan 3rd District Court. Some knew Ashley, some did not, but they came because her story had reached something deep inside them. Ashley's empty wheelchair sat among the crowd. No speech could have said more. That chair represented the life taken, the voice unheard, the space left behind, the person who could not stand in that courtroom and speak for herself. So others spoke for her. Inside the courtroom, Urban tried once more to explain himself. He said his testosterone levels had become extremely high. He said reality felt like a dream. But the courtroom did not receive those words as remorse. Many heard them as deflection. Judge Stephen Nelson did not accept the excuses. In a landmark decision, he ordered Urban's 5 felony convictions to run consecutively. Urban received 5 years to life for each of the 2 rape convictions and 1 to 15 years for each count of forcible sexual abuse. It was the maximum punishment allowed under the law. For Paula, it still did not bring Ashley back. After the sentencing, she said she thought she had been angry before, but after Ashley died, the anger became even stronger. That kind of anger is not empty. It has a purpose. It demands change. And that is what happened next. Ashley Vigil's story did not end with Urban's sentence. It became the beginning of a movement. After her death, 3 Utah lawmakers stepped forward to push for stronger protections for vulnerable adults. The proposed change became known as Ashley's Law. Its purpose was simple but powerful. If an adult has the vulnerability of a child, the law should not pretend they have the protection or independence of a typical adult. The law needed to account for mental and physical capacity. That idea should not feel controversial. But Ashley's case showed why it mattered. Without it, vulnerable adults could fall into a dangerous legal gap. Too old for child protections, too disabled to protect themselves, and too often overlooked by systems built in categories that do not fit real people. At Urban's sentencing, the crowd outside chanted for Ashley. They wanted her name heard. They wanted lawmakers to listen. They wanted the justice system to understand that her silence did not make her less human, less valuable, or less deserving of protection. From Montana, the family that had warned about Urban years earlier drove hundreds of miles to stand with Paula. That moment carried its own message. This was not one family's pain. This was a pattern. This was a failure that crossed state lines. And that is why this story matters beyond Utah. The ripple effect spread into conversations about disability rights, patient safety, background checks, caregiving, and trust. Families began asking sharper questions. Advocates pushed harder. Communities started to understand that vulnerable adults need more than sympathy. They need laws that see them clearly. Ashley's safe bubble had been shattered. But through her mother's fight, that same idea began expanding into something bigger, a demand to protect others before it is too late. And that is why ABC Crime Room tells stories like this. Because true crime is not only about the crime. It is about the warning signs, the systems, the missed chances, the victims who deserved better. If Ashley's story moved you, comment her name below. Let the comment section become one more place where her voice is heard. Ashley Vigil never spoke a word in her 31 years of life. But after her death, her story traveled through courtrooms, newsrooms, legislative halls, and homes across America. It forced people to ask why a disabled adult could be left so exposed. It forced lawmakers to confront a gap in protection. It forced communities to look at vulnerable people with more urgency. Paula's words remain haunting. Ashley spent her life trapped in her little body, where she was supposed to be safe at home. Then even that safety was taken from her. But Ashley's story did not stop at pain. It became a warning. It became a lawmaking push. It became a call for families to watch closer, for agencies to act faster, and for society to listen even when victims cannot speak. If you want to support stronger protections for vulnerable adults, contact your local disability rights organization and learn what laws exist in your state. If you or someone you know has experienced sexual assault or abuse, call the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 1-800-656-HOPE. Ashley Vigil never got the chance to speak for herself, but now her name speaks in a different way. It speaks through her mother's fight. It speaks through the people demanding change. It speaks through every vulnerable adult who may now receive protection because one mother refused to let her daughter be forgotten. Sometimes justice begins with evidence. Sometimes it begins with outrage. And sometimes it begins with a mother watching a screen and realizing the truth was inside her house all along. If this story stayed with you, subscribe to ABC Crime Room, turn on notifications, and share this video with someone who cares about justice. Every subscriber helps us keep telling the stories that expose the truth, honor the victims, and remind the world that silence should never mean forgotten.